I heard
Yeah.
some sort of, you can call it a joke about this. So one person asked the founder that why are you spending so much time in training your employee? What if they leave next year? It will harm our profit.
Hmm.
The founder said, suppose if I don't train him and he stays in the organization, what about that?
Wow, that's good. Even I would like to share like about my experience also, because it was I just did my intern. So that was my first industrial experience, and it was a beautiful experience for me because it was totally collaborative in every form. And it was so different from what I experienced in my academic life till now, because everywhere in academics there is competition because there's a class of people doing the same thing and trying to get the grades. There it was like you're given a project and almost everyone in your team is trying to help you in some way or the other. They come, they ask me, and I used whenever I used to approach them, they used to give me substantial knowledge that helped me grow. So that was a very collaborative environment, which actually made me really want to go back there and learn in that environment. So I think instead of competitive, for me, I would prefer a collaborative, loving environment where I can feel that the people around me, my managers, my seniors, really care about me and my growth as well.
Absolutely. And I think this can solve a lot of problems. Another thing which is coming up recently is that uh, one good employee works in an organization, they are getting X package. Then they know that if I switch the organization, I'll get 1.3x, 30% jump. Then if I change that organization, they keep on jumping the organization. So this is, the person might be getting good package, and the companies are feeling that I can't trust this employee. He will just leave. They will leave because you are thinking that only through by giving salary and money you can stop that person. But if you can give them
Yeah.
care, trust, empathy, then even if you're paying slightly lesser than some XYZ organization, they will stay with you, because eventually
Exactly.
our even more important need than money is to feel that I can trust people here and people care about me. If you can create that culture, people will stay with you even if you might be paying slightly lesser.
I think it's the relationships that we share with people that actually makes us stay anywhere. Otherwise, it's very easy to leave. But it's the bond that you have that will actually make you think twice before you leave that place because of the sweetness of the emotions that you feel.
Absolutely. Otherwise, it is just a game of calculation that employer is doing his or
Yeah.
her calculation, employee is doing his or her calculation, and they are not
Yeah.
trusting each other. Wherever the benefit
Yeah.
is based on calculation, they will leave or they will fire. So
Correct.
unless this, which is again not sustainable.
Correct. So, like, we have talked about stress and we basically talked a lot about its negative impacts in our lives. But we also know that somewhere, some point of time, competition or even competition aside, even stress is good and bad. We hear about both aspects of it, that stress could also be good and bad. So, is workplace stress that we experience, is it good for us in any possible way?
So again, I will explain it. We might have discussed it in our previous videos as well. The graph of stress versus performance or motivation. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is usually a bell curve, if
Very good.
audience can
Yeah.
imagine. So this is motivation. This is level of stress. If initially, if the stress
Yeah.
is very low, the performance would also be very low. This is referred to as the, in a way, laziness, etc., also fall in this bracket. That level of stress is very less, and we are very less motivated. Somewhere, some pressure builds up, and we reach certain peak. And I think even students can relate to it. When the exam date is coming closer, stress is increasing. Till that time, we are not at all worried about studying. And the date is
Exactly.
coming closer, the stress increases, and then our motivation to study also increases. It reaches a peak, which
Correct.
is like a very good balance of stress and performance. This is referred to as eustress, which is a healthy stress. Which, even for example, today I have to go and do grocery shopping. I need to feel slightly stressed about it that something needs to be done. Otherwise, why would I care? So this is called healthy stress or eustress. And if it crosses
Yeah.
a certain level, then the performance would start to decline. And that is referred to as distress. which is negative stress, which reduces the performance. And that is what, in a way, we are talking so far. Whatever we have talked about is with respect to distress. If there is competition, lack of trust in the team, then it will lead to distress, which will reduce the performance. So that's why deadlines, etc., are important, but they must be reasonable. If they are unreasonable, then they lead to distress and reduce the performance. I think I'll ask the
Even
editor to put that graph here of distress versus
yeah, yeah,
performance.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even I've read it in Atomic Habits that challenges only if they're like a 4% more than your current abilities, they motivate you to keep working for it. But if it's too hard and too challenging for you, you won't go for it. So it should be like close to the boundary that you have. So that will help you grow in a sustainable way.
Absolutely. And I think, again, sustainability is the word, I guess.
Yeah.
Eventually, if something is
Yeah.
not sustainable, then it will go down sooner or later.
Correct. So this is my last question to you. Is it possible for us to be successful in our careers and still be totally distress free?
Sure. So, I think, yes, it is possible in a way, but then there would always be some situation or the other, maybe in our personal life or interpersonal life or in the organization. So yes, it is possible, but some sort of oscillation would always occur. Life would not always be a straight line.
Yeah.
So I think, though, apart from
Yeah.
those oscillations, and those oscillation can include any unfortunate event or some very important deadline might come or some project might come. So slight bit of periods of distress will always be there in our personal or interpersonal life, and those we have to learn to cope with. But I think otherwise, most
Yeah.
apart from those kind of special situations, I think it is possible to be successful without getting distressed. And this again, this culture must change. That people should realize that it is possible and it is important also to work towards it, both at an individual level and as an organization. Another part to your question, which is success, I think that also depends on what is success for an individual, and I think that's also part of working on reducing the stress as an individual. Like we discussed, that
Correct.
for someone, money might be success. For someone, freedom might be success. For someone, interpersonal relations might be success. For someone, doing a work which is of their passion and interest might be success. So first, the person has to ask themselves that what is most important for me? What gives meaning to my work or my life? And if your things are in line with that meaning, then you you will be successful. Distress for something which might be distressful for someone might not be distressful for you. So this personal questioning should also be important. That is why what we discussed at the beginning, that someone in a government job might be depressed, someone else might be pretty chilled out, because depending
Yeah,
on what
correct.
gives meaning to their life.
Right. I think it's very important to keep checking with ourselves that what we are trying to pursue, if that's what we truly want, if that's what is truly in line with our personal desires or our personal idea of what our life should be. For example, I felt like when I was doing my intern, it felt like a perfect fit to me in every possible way. I was the most productive. I felt I was working in a loving and caring environment, and that's what matters to me more than maybe the stipend or maybe the kind of something else. Yeah. So that was more important to me. That differs from people to people, person to person, and that's what questioning we should keep doing to ourselves. With ourselves.
And I wish someone would have talked about this again when the placement season was there at my time. But I think during the
Yeah.
placement season, everyone, especially in colleges, everyone is just talking about package and the brand name. Nothing else is
So
being talked about.
true. So true. It's happening right now in all the colleges. Like right now, it's the placement season. So that's the conversation at our mess tables when we go to our classes. Everywhere is going on. People are accepting PPOs and they're like, you should go for something better. You can get a better package. But maybe they got a good experience when they went to do an intern. But that makes them question themselves that am I doing the right thing? I'm not going for a bigger fish or something like that.
And even like people sometimes talk to the alumni that how is the culture in this company, etc.
Yeah.
Again, they mostly focus on package kaisa hai, working hours, but no one actually talks about the environment kaisa hai. They don't ask their senior, or they ask guidance, interview kaise crack hoga, GD kaise crack hoga, but they don't ask the company ke andar how is the environment, and so that should be a
Yeah.
criteria. But I think with time people do
Correct.
realize after 4-5 years of
Yeah.
working that what is most important.
Exactly. We learn to set our priorities. That's true. Okay. So I think it has been a wonderful conversation. We got to learn so much, and I hope that our audience feels the same as well. Please let us know in the comments below if you could relate to any part of the video, and if you want us to make more videos on any special topics that you want to have more clarity and a different perspective on. We would love to do that. Share this video with your loved ones, your friends and relatives, and let them also know that mental health at workplace is something that should be talked about, should be considered and respected if someone is expressing their concerns. So like this video, put a comment and subscribe to our channel so that you always get an update when we are putting a new video on our channel. And please do not hesitate to follow Coach for Mind for mental health of yourself and that of your loved ones, and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn to get regular updates on mental health. Thank you. Bye bye.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that whenever we come up with a new video, you are notified about it. Thank you.